doing with your teddy bear? What you doing with your teddy bear? Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. No. Couple more hours. Couple more hours, we going home. All right, got this one 8-lug hub. We're gonna mill a little slot in it right now, and then we're gonna switch over to the hubs, and we're gonna put our bolt pattern in them before we do a finish pass on them. So try not to get at any steps here. So right now we're milling a slot just to make it a little easier to get the cotter pin into our spindles. Got a 2 flute 3/8 end mill, spin that 2000 RPM, 6 inches a minute feed rate, which is probably fairly slow. See the coordinates changing there? That's the line we're on in the program. Hey guys, I'm just gonna put some music on. If I can find my remote, here it is. Bluetooth. Epidemic sound. What are we gonna listen to today? Listen to some rock with vocals, with 459 tracks to listen to. All right, so we're gonna switch now. We're gonna hold this hub and change our tools and all that good stuff. But before I do, when I put the chuck down, I made sure it was perfectly true, but things get bumped and whatnot, so I want to run my tool up against the side of the jaw and just confirm that it's straight, because when I go to drill these hubs, I have to index them on a pin. And speaking of that, where is that pin? Probably in the toolbox. I'm going to turn that down just a notch. start pin right here. So I drilled this chuck ages ago to accept this pin. It's got 2 positions for indexing different size hubs. It'll all make sense in a minute, I hope. Now, if I forget, that's where that is. So we're going to use our long tool just to check things out. Okay. Right there's enough to grab paper. 1.093 off center according to that. Now I can just see light through there. So it's not grabbing my paper. So I think we need to true this up a little bit. Can't get my paper through. All right, we're gonna back off these 2 bolts and we're gonna straighten that out just a hair. Where is my 15/16 wrench? I had it a minute ago, right here. So we'll do this and then we'll have to find center one more time because it's gonna shift a few thousandths by the time we're done. Uh-oh. That wasn't supposed to happen. I need to go up a little bit. Or do that. Ah! I keep hitting the wrong button. Christmas songs. Why are they still playing Christmas songs? Okay, we're rubbing up the side of that jaw and a little bit of light. So right now we're turned that way a little bit. I could have a dial indicator on it, I suppose. I don't know if I can get low enough. Let's do that. Gonna need the dial on it anyway. Just don't know if it's going to give me the reading I'm looking for, because of all this crap that's in the way, right? I should have a bar that I could... Yeah, I don't like this at all. I'm going back to the other way. It may not be machinist approved, but I know what I'm doing when I do it this way. So this is the way we're going to do it. And right there, I don't see light when I go back and forth. So that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. So we'll tighten it down, then we'll find our center. We'll use the dial indicator for that. I need to clean off everything, but I'm making a huge mess here in a minute. So and it's hard to clean this stuff. Once it gets wet, it just sticks to everything, and you basically got to clean it 3 or 4 times because it just stays behind you. So what I do is I just make my mess, as you'll grow to appreciate, I hope, and then I'll let it dry, and once it's dry, it cleans off a whole lot easier. So to find my center, I've got this ring right here. I'll take my locator pin out, but I've got this ring that's machined smooth and round on the outside. It's just aluminum, but it's true enough for what we're doing. I don't need it. I'm not going to the tenths of a thousand of accuracy here. If I'm within 5 thousandths of an inch accuracy, that's more than close enough, but we usually get it within about 2 thousandths. There's a couple thousandths of play in the table as well, in the ball screws. This mill is like 1997, so it's done its share of work already, and I'm just giving it a second life as a automated drill press, basically. Alright, we're going to tell it manual, we're going to tell it to go to X0, Y0. And right there, it's in the center where that chuck used to be. But now that we've played with it a bit, it's going to be slightly off. So we'll find center again and tell the computer where center is. So right now we'll set that to 0 on the Y. So we're 30 thousandths out already, and we're 30 thousandths out that way. So now we're like 12 thousandths over. So we're gonna go to about 6 and set our 0. We'll set our X first before we worry about the Y. Right now we're 2 over. I'm gonna go to 1. Okay, we're 1 over. We'll set our 0 again. And we are 0 there. So we're pretty good on the X. 1 under there. Okay, let's set our Y and then we'll dial it back in. We're 22 under on the Y. So we'll get that. Okay, now we're on 0. We're pretty close to 0, I'd say there. A couple tenths maybe. And right there, a little hard to see. You guys probably can't see it all, but a couple tenths under 0. Right there, we're a couple tenths under 0, so we're bang on with the X. So we'll go into our offsets and calibrate the X. We know our X is good. Now we're gonna go do the Y. Now if the Y, of course, I hit it with my finger. If the Y and the X match, then 3 points on a circle, right? So 0, and then we take the Y, bring it to 0. Let's go. More Christmas music. So we're 2 thousandths over. We're on 0s on the Y. Now let's check our X one more time. We're 2 or 3 thousandths over, not 2 or 3 thousandths, 2 or 3 tenths over. And we're a tenth over. All right, this is gonna piss me off. Okay. Our X is 0. X is 0. Why does our Y keep changing? Okay, X is right on 0. X is right on 0. Y is right on 0. And Y is right on 0. So now we'll calibrate our Y. So we got our Y calibrated and our X calibrated. Now the machine knows where the center is. So the next thing we're gonna do is put a hub in there and set our Z, set our tool heights basically. We're gonna actually set up our tools. So, what did I do with that pin right here? We'll thread this pin in here. Come on! So you can see in the bottom, we've got our little bolt holes here, there and there. So when I set this on, that pin will engage one of these bolt holes. And that's how we index it, so that the hole on the bottom essentially is in alignment with the holes that we put in from the top. Right, because it can't spin in there now. So we just got to make sure that as we tighten it, we don't tighten it a little bit one way or the other. Probably would be a good idea if I had another pin on the other end, but that's not going to happen today. Okay, we just need to make sure everything's good, which it is. And tighten her up. Now, I need to make sure that the one I'm using, so what we're gonna do, I left a few thousandths of height on some of these because I'm going to run them through the lathe one last time. You can see that it's all rough surface, right? So I'm gonna peel a few thousandths off as a finish pass, but I don't want to set my tool height on that because obviously it won't be correct. But here's a hub that is finished. It's old and dirty and weathered, but I keep it around for mock-up. So we're going to use this hub for setup. Because we know the deck height or the face height is the right height on there. So the first thing we need, 3 tools. Let's go into our programs. Program. So this is going to be HD Snow. No, it's going to be HD Hub, HD Idler, HD Snow. Should be RT Hub side 2 on this side, right there. Select. And then let's just go look at our tools. So didn't write the tool in. T1 should be a 5/8 drill. And then it's got all our hole locations. And then T2 should be an 1 1/8 drill. And it's got all the hole locations again. Then T3 should be countersink. That one seems fast, 500. Negative 4.86. All right. We need to change our drill because we have to reach all the way down to there. So, put it in gear first. This is the drill we're going to use right here. This is the drill we're going to use. We just got to make sure not to bury it too deep in there. I thought I had a longer 5/8 drill. And sharpen it in a minute, but so the first thing we got to do is delta the diameter of the drill 0.625 and then bring it down and touch it on a piece of paper. that our 0. We'll calibrate our Z. That's tool number 1. Now tool number 2 is probably over in the toolbox. See the mess I made making these hubs? Shovel that up. This is tool number 2. Long 1.1/8" drill, which we need to clear that hub when we're drilling. Grabbing. We'll calibrate our Z. Oh, we got to tell it what size it is. 1.125 1.1/8", and then we'll calibrate our Z. The diameter isn't as critical for drills as it is for mills. If I was to put in the wrong diameter of a mill, it would tell me if there's any potential errors because the overlap or whatnot wouldn't match what the tool is capable of. But with drills, there's not really that constraint on them. I run a little bit thicker shim when I'm setting the countersink, because this countersink used to go right to a point and I ground the end of it so it wouldn't need as much clearance by the chuck. Because some of the, not on this particular setup, but on some hubs that I drill, we drill a hole right above the jaw, so I just barely want to get through the material, not be down 1/2 inch, or else I'd have to do a big clearance into the jaw. So that's grabbing. So diameter is going to be 1, calibrate Z, exit. So I believe we've got our 3 tools set up now. So what we're going to do is a dummy run before we do anything. I'm going to put my end mill away just so it doesn't get knocked over, because it's not going to get used again for another couple weeks. Okay, so what we'll do is put a holder in with no tool right here and just make sure that there's no surprises in the program. So let's go to auto. M41 is what it wants. Tool 1's going to turn 1250 RPM. Feed rate's really high on this. Really high. But it's aluminum, so what is our feed rate? 12 inches a minute? A little bit of extra time, but it's easier than crashing a tool in because I made a mistake. So, well, it's a simple, easy way to verify the program is right and the tools are right. Okay, so now T2 550, so it's not telling me to change the range, so it's just going to run slower in the high range. We've got a high-low range on this thing, so now it's quite a distance, right, because it believes that this drill is in there. I don't necessarily need a drill that long, but like the only ones I have at my disposal are this one and this one. I couldn't get one in between, so might as well just have the big long drill. Then at least we don't run out of reach for anything that we're working on. I always drill my 5/8 hole first, my clearance hole, and then go in with the bigger drill for the countersink just to help locate it. It'd probably be faster if we did the big hole first and then just went and did the final bit of drilling with the 5/8, but I'm not confident enough in my tools and my abilities yet to push that. Plus an 1.8" drill to run from zero, like with no pre-drill, is you know, if you look at the tip, it's got a big square tip, and that's, you know, that's not going to drill, that's just going to churn, right? So just do it this way. It takes a little bit longer, but if I had an enclosed machine with flood coolant, I'd be running all like insert drills and stuff like that, and then we could just let it rip, and then we'd know the flood coolant would take the chips away. But oh, I'm tired. 6 p.m. already. Been here all day working on these things. So we got enough hubs here for about 5 sets of tracks, and then we've got a bunch of donuts here for Polaris 1500 adapters. That'll have to be drilled right after these. I doubt it's going to happen tonight. Okay, leave that alone. Now we're going to run the countersink, and you'll see another big distance here because it's a long tool, right? This one right here. I just don't know why it seems to be turning fast, but I don't know why it's turning so fast. Before we run this program, I'm going to go and look at another program just to verify the countersink. But I think I only run it like 100 RPM in steel. So I don't know why I'd run it at 500 RPM in aluminum. Seems to be a bit excessive, but maybe I'm running it too slow in steel too. So everything's good in that respect, no crashes. So let's just go look at another one. So let's go look at our HD hub, side 2. Select, edit. So let's go see what our countersink speed is. We're still doing 1250, 600, 300. And what's our feed rate? 5.2. No, radius 5.2, feed rate is 3. So 303 inches a minute. So let's go back. RT hub, side, edit. And now RT hub, side 2. Select edit. Speed 500. Feed 4.5. So we're gonna turn it down to 300. Do I want to do that? Do I want to screw with it? Seems 500 seems fast for that. Let's go 300, and then we'll turn the feed rate down. See, on this one the feed rate's 3. That one is 4.5. All the others it's 3. So why did I go to 4.5 on that one? 3.0. select, exit, auto. Okay, this is where it gets real. So we'll pull this hub out of here and replace it with I cannot handle why on earth are they playing all this goddamn Christmas music. It's frickin' January. Once we're done with this, it'll go back into lathe. I'm gonna rebore the oil seal and the bearing seat. But some of these, I like to let them sit for a day to cool down, just so that the material comes back. I've done it before where I've done that immediately after, and because the material was warm, when it cooled down, it shrank and then it was too tight to push the raceway in. So rather than just sit for a day to do that, I'm gonna run it through the mill, and the coolant from the mill will cool it down. By the time this whole project's done, it'll be time to go home anyway, but at least we'll have the drilling step done, and then tomorrow it'll be a quick job to rebore those in the mill, and then we'll bring the oven down off of the racking, and we'll sweat the bearings in on these, or sweat the raceways in. So I know why I had it set to 500. It was so that I didn't have to change the range lever. So before I do that, because I have to change the range lever, I need to put an M40 in there. Okay, manual edit. Because this thing won't turn that slow. Okay, editing insert block. C1. Let's delete the block and editing insert block. And we'll put an M41 in there. M41 is the high range. M41. Exit. All right. I hope I don't regret this. All right, so we'll start with our 5/8 drill. And we're gonna call for an M41 right there. We're in high range, M41. And the next time I press this button, it's game on. Program stopped on tool mount, press start. Tool 1, away we go. Perfect. And then I make it come up. I can do a radial path and only let the tool come out of the material and go around a curve, but that's only if I'm drilling an equally spaced pattern. It's part of the can cycle. But because these are unevenly spaced holes, I have to locate each hole as its own line in the G code, like each position is a hole, right? And when you do that, it won't do a radial path. So I have to go up a full inch above, well, not a full inch, but I have to go above the center of the hub just to ensure that I don't collide with it when I'm traveling from hole to hole. So it's not really a whole lot of extra time at the end of the day. So we're digging. I said I was going to sharpen that drill again, didn't I? We can sharpen it between next part anyway. Now we'll go with our 1/8" drill. Program stopped on tool mount, press start. So we're still in an M41. Now it's going to go in there countersink this hole. Ooh, noisy. Noisy. Most of that noise, oh, that's brutal. Higher than years. Most of that noise has come from the fact that tool is so long. Let's turn our spindle speed down a little bit. Yeah, I think we're going to change the spindle speed, slow it down just a hair. Oh, brutal. What happens if we turn the feed rate down? So we got our feed rate and our RPM at 90%. Now we're feeding 110. That drill could probably stand to be sharpened too, but stopped on gear range. Okay, let's put our feed in our speed. RPM. But it's drilling a nice hole. Doesn't look particularly bad. I think I'll just leave this one alone. And we'll go in and countersink. So you'll see me using this countersinking tool on a lot of different things, right? And you'll probably wonder why I have such a long shank on it. And this is exactly why. I have some hubs that are an inch taller than this, and I'd rather not have a bunch of different countersinking tools. So I just made one long countersinking tool, and it does everything. Start mixing mixing up lengths of your tools, and then it's just a higher likelihood that when you go to do a job, you'll grab the wrong tool. It'll be an inch too long or an inch too short, and there'll be a collision. Parts will get damaged, or the machine will get damaged. And really no good reason why it would need to be done. So that's one hub complete. So you can see there now we've got our hole in, our counter bore, and our countersink. So that's for the 60-degree tapered lug nuts to bite into. All we have to do is get another, I've got another countersinking bit here somewhere in amongst my disaster here. Maybe I put it away. Beauty right here. Another month and a half, 2 months, we'll be doing a major cleanup in here. We're going to get rid of any tools that we don't use for making tracks. Getting rid of them means just put them out in the shipping container where we have access to them, but they're not in the way. So there's the backside. So now you can see why I wanted to locate that hole, right? Because it has to be in between these two holes perfectly. And I'll show you why. If you look at one of our sprockets, you can see our hole pattern here. We've got basically two 5/16 flathead cap screws that go through. This hub will be on the bottom side of the sprocket. They go through and bolt that sprocket to the hub, and that's what holds the sprocket on until the adapter gets bolted to it and it's bolted to the vehicle. That clamps everything together, but those two screws basically just hold it together while it's off the vehicle so it doesn't fall apart. So yeah, so this side is already done. I've already went in there this morning and rebored all the bearing seats. So we just have to rebore this side to get the bearing seats right. Anyway. So you can see here's an example where I didn't face the end, right? I'll do that when I do my finish pass on everything. I'll square it off. But for now, it really didn't matter. It was just one extra step. But had no benefit, so I just, on some of them I didn't do it. Some of them I did, some of them I didn't. But they're all gonna get another pass. Let's just sharpen this a hair. We'll do one light pass on the stone. And maybe we'll do the same with our 1 1/8" drill. Great drill sharpener. I'm going to get a machine to do it. It's a pretty critical thing, sharpening drills. Not so bad when you're drilling by hand or with a drill press, because if you're off a little bit, who cares? But when you're drilling with a CNC, being out, like if this face of the drill is out by 2/1000ths of an inch versus this face, it could wander, or this side could do all the cutting while this side does none, which basically makes your drill 50% efficient. So I'll touch them up by hand a couple times, but after that I'll send them away and get a friend of mine with a proper drill sharpener to reset the angle on them. Why do I not remember switching that? Did I not switch it to M40 a while ago? Anyway, let's go again. If you don't know anything about how these machines work, right now we're doing a chip breaking cycle. So that drill is going down, 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 and then you'll see it pause. Down, 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 then you'll see it pause. And basically what that's allowing it to do, as it's drilling, it's continually digging into the material, churning the material, but then we stop it, and that allows it to break that chip off, and that's when you see the chip come out. Every time it stops, it throws that chip away, and that just stops a whole bunch of chips from getting caught in the holes. Not so bad on a shallow hole, but if you're doing a deep hole, you want to get those chips up out of the way so that they don't just sit there and churn around the bit. If I'm doing a deep hole, generally what I'll do is there's another one called a chip clearing cycle, where it'll do a couple of those and then it'll come all the way out, throw the chips off, and then go back in, take another bite. But it's a lot slower because it has to do all that traveling. Now, if I didn't have this chip breaking cycle, for God's sake. If I wasn't running a chip breaking cycle, all these would be like endlessly long and they'd be throwing stuff all around. So we'll set that to make the chips manageable. Let's go put one more try on this thing just to see if we can quiet it down a little bit. Try that. All right, let's see how noisy this is. Well, got rid of the high pitch noise anyway. We're gonna have to touch that on the grinder. I'll show you why in a minute. Basically, it's a little bit too sharp. I don't know if you can watch it, but when it does that first cut, watch it. You can see the little facets. I'm gonna put rubber gloves on here in a minute too. Let's just go on. It's too sharp right now. It's digging a little aggressively. So we're gonna flatten that out just a hair. I'll have to go back and watch the live stream again after to see if I got it in my head that I ran that in high range, because I don't remember climbing up here and shifting into low, and it did fine in high range. Yeah, that's way too slow. That's not 300. Okay, let's spindle off. Go back to M41. Spindle forward. I want to go and look at that in a minute. M40, M41 is 200. Okay, so it will run on an M41. Okay, let's start the program again. As always, guys, we run the live stream until the battery runs out in the GoPro. That's usually about 1.5 hours, unless the phone rings or I have any other pressing emergencies that cause me to have to turn it off early. If I do turn it off early, I'll turn it back on again. I'll come back with a part 2 until we get a total of about 1.5 hours. Basically, the goal is to burn off a battery in each live stream. Okay, I want to go look at this program. Auto. Let's just go down and look at it. I thought I selected an M40 down there. Did I not put an M40 in? No, it's an M41. So that M41 is not even doing anything. That was supposed to be an M40. But because we're M41 there, all of our tools are running on the high side. M41. What is the inch and an eighth one running at? M41. So we can just delete that. Let's just pretend I didn't change it at all. Hey, that's 2. Just set that there for a minute to drain off, and then put another hub in. Put in hub number 3. Okay. Auto. Had a little bit of an ordeal with the air compressor today. Ran it out of oil, got pretty hot. This air compressor has been running pretty well non-stop for the last probably 5 years. So I think it's running fine now and still making air. But that might have been my sign that it's time to start looking for another air compressor. I want to get a rotary screw. I see them online. There's little Hyundai rotary screws for like $7,000 bucks. Make 23 CFM. but they're only like 60 decibels, which is like half as loud as that thing is. What are you doing? What are you doing? You cuddling with your teddy? Waiting to go home, eh? Oh, as soon as I say that word. No, not yet. Not yet. We'll go in there later though. You and me. I'm just washing my hands. We're dealing with a lot of coolant and oil and stuff. And I'm gonna put gloves on. Protect my hands a little bit so they don't end up all chapped. Right? Are you bored? Poor fella. You poor boy. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Ha ha ha. No fooling you, eh? What are you doing to your teddy? Grooming him? Are you grooming your teddy? Groom him. You're a good boy, right? You take good care of your teddies too, right? Maybe someday we'll show the people on the other end your teddies that you have at home. Alright, I gotta go back to work. Big sook. Okay, what did I do with those gloves? All right, we're gonna see what that regrind did. If it makes it more noisy or less. A little quieter. I should really shorten it because I've got a lot of shank, and this shank is already turned down because that was a 1 1/8" drill, but I only had a 1-inch holder. But that's a lot quieter. Quieter, but look how stringy the chips are now. That's the shitty part about that. But make it a nice hole. We'll not say too much. we go. Little noise in our drill still, but not too bad. I might turn the feed rate up a little bit. Three down, a whole bunch to go. Turn the feed up 10%. Need a second coolant line. Pretty close to the edge. Against my better judgment, I'm going to touch that drill one more time. drilling. That's nice and straight. That's the last time I'm touching it. Today, anyway. See how much I've modified my jaws for this job. You know, normally, like this whole cavity I milled into it, and then over here there's other interferences, so I had to mill most of this material off here and here. Just got a little shelf there and there to sit the part on, and then the rest of it is to allow the drills to come through and not actually contact the jaw. Works pretty good though. Another Christmas song. Put this back where it needs to be. Noisier, but they're not sticking to the drill. Might have spoke too soon. Really close to the edge on these. Still not happy with that grind. Gonna do it one more time. Not happy with that at all. We're just making a mess now. Okay, last time. If it's the heel or lack thereof. But it's due for a proper sharpening. Luckily it doesn't matter because we're just clearancing the hole, and doesn't actually touch anything. Don't give us a lot of room either, eh? Really close to the edge on this one. They make a 7-inch bar, but it's like, if it's 7 inches, it's just 7 inches. They don't give you any extra. I think we're gonna turn down the RPM of that big drill just a little bit as soon as we're done with this part. Okay, edit, where are we at right now? Okay, 550, is that what we're spinning? And the other one's 1250. We're gonna turn it down to like, let's turn it down to 500. And we'll go to that part of the program. T2. If anybody's well versed in sharpening drills, you've watched this car, wouldn't mind knowing what I'm doing wrong. Even a lot nicer finish though now. That's a lot smoother finish. A lot smoother.